First of all, we've got this one here, which is day. Now, you can see here that it's got quite a square shape, and it's also got one line through the middle. One thing to keep in mind is you're going to encounter a lot similar kanji, which might have more than one line, which we'll see in a minute. On the right here, you can see that I've given you some examples of some vocabulary that you might encounter with this word. So for example, we've got ichinichi, which is just one day, or we've got itsuka, which is 5 days. For these examples here, don't worry about memorizing all this vocabulary, because in the vocabulary section of this challenge, we'll be actually learning the vocabulary. This is just to help you familiarize the context in which the kanji is used. Next up, we've got some similar looking kanji here. So here you can see we've got the kanji for I, which is very similar, but instead of these 2 white boxes here, it's got 3 white boxes. And then there's one which looks quite similar to I as well, which is ear. And you can see it's got a little bit more longer strokes on the top and bottom here, and a little bit of an extra stroke down here as well. So that's just some differences to look out for, because it's very easy in the beginning to accidentally mistake a kanji for another. Just remember that day or sun always has these 2 boxes. And how we're actually going to be able to memorize that is I've invented a meaning, which is just imagine the sun as being in the shape of 2 chests of drawers. So you can see how it's got 2 drawers. This is an AI generated image, and it accidentally created a second one, but I think you get the idea of how it's like 2 chest of drawers here, and it's almost like these chest of drawers have become a sun. So that's one way you can memorize it. How I memorize it personally is I like to think of a game called Minecraft. If you ever played, it was a game I played with growing up as a kid, because Minecraft is a cube game and everything is very square. And I just think this is like a very square kanji, so it's kind of like a square sun, and it's like the sun rising at the start of a day. Here you can see that it's following this typical pattern that you'll see in stroke order, which is 1 component at a time, and always working from the top left, right, and then working down a bit like a printer. So you can see we're doing 1 stroke at a time. So we're starting on the left, then we're going to the right, and then we're working down. You will build a kind of intuitive understanding of how the stroke order works as you go. And we've talked about this mainly in the course, but the reason why we do stroke order is because it, 1, helps you make your kanji look nice and pretty when you're writing it out. And it also helps build good muscle memory, which can help support some of these more memory techniques we're using when we're maybe creating associations like this with the kanji. So I highly recommend following the stroke order if you can. And I know it's a little bit of a pain in the beginning, but after you've been doing it for a little while, you're going to find that you don't need to keep looking at the stroke order. You just kind of start building an intuitive understanding of how it works. So don't need to stress on it too much, but just when you're following this challenge today, just make sure to follow the stroke order if you can. And this will help you get a good intuitive understanding of how it works.